Welcome back to the Motion Gallerium. The movie takes off at a part of the mansion showing classic board games, connotating a rather playful atmosphere. Then children are seen running through the hallway. One of the children, Alex, is shoved into a wardrobe. Daniel finds a grown man injured and begging for his life. He screams and an old man shows up with a harpoon thing, and kills the stranger, and soon after men with robes take him away, leaving the boy traumatized for life. 30 years later, we see Grace practicing her vows before the wedding and Daniel, from the opening revealing that he and his brother Alex are part of the Domas gaming empire. Alex is not keen on what his family does behind closed doors, so he offers Grace one more chance to walk away. We are then introduced to Alex's family, seemingly comprised of douchebags, but the ceremony went on without a problem. They finally make it to their marital bed, but before they get it on, they are interrupted by Aunt Harleen telling them both that they are being awaited downstairs. Alex comes clean, explaining that all new family members must play a game that will then determine the game they must play, in order to become a member of the family. We then learn that there are some competing motivations here when Alex simply wants to get it over with and leave his family for good, but his mother hopes Grace will bring Alex closer to the family. They then begin the ceremony with stories of old, recounting that their grandfather made a deal with a mysterious man named Mr. LaBelle wherein solving his puzzle box led to a great family fortune, and to prevent misfortune, they called to do exactly as the box tells them, be it the game of old maid, chess, checkers or hide and seek. So they finally shuts down the cameras and begin the game. Alex runs off and tries to warn her by pulling her into the bedroom, and as they hide, the housemaid catches a hot one through the eye, finally opening Grace's eyes to the seriousness of the situation. They drag the maid off while Alex sneaks Grace into the servants' passage, explaining that the traditional initiation process is not only a game, but also a sacrifice, and furthermore, the game she picked is the one where the sacrifice must be the gamer. Hearing that, she quickly gets upset and Alex explains that he didn't tell her because there was only a small chance that she could pull the dangerous card, and most importantly, he didn't want her to leave him. He then instructs her how to escape while he goes and distract his family. She barely survived the first attack only to realize that the house is in lockdown. She then comes across a troubled Daniel who recounts to her his childhood trauma. He fails to bring himself to murder her or save her, so he gives her a few seconds head start before alerting his family. The family meets and genuinely appears disappointed in David's mistake while his cockhead sister accidentally shoots a woman with a crossbow. They then decide to reactivate the security room while at the same time, Grace comes across a shotgun. Alex arrives at the security room first and eventually manages to unlock the locked doors. In the attempt to making her escape, Grace realizes that the ammo for the shotgun are for display only, prompting her to improvise, and in response, Steve waves his arm around like a short-circuited Tesla, allowing her to escape. Daniel and Tony manage to break in and subdue Alex and confine him in a room as they ponder their next step. Grace keeps running until she finds herself in the stables. She then discovers that her opponent is a little boy, so she lets down her guard, to which she gets shot. She manages to punch the boy but accidentally pushes herself into a pit of sacrificial leftovers. She painfully climbs out of the pit and continues running as the family decide their roles and responsibilities, to which Daniel and his partner are assigned barn duty, where he recounts that if the ritual isn't complete by dawn, they will all be dead. Sometimes later, Grace finds herself in a wooded area where she meets Daniel, who is seemingly more sure of his loyalties at the moment. At the house, Becky has a talk with his son where it's revealed that this isn't all about fun, but there's a deep-seated fear if they fail to please their benevolent benefactor. See, none of them are actually sure if the myth is for real or not despite their commitment. They begin the preparations, and soon after, Grace wakes up just as they begin the incantations and pass amongst each other a chalice, and soon after, they all begin vomiting blood except Daniel, who seemingly poisoned the rest, so he quickly grabs Grace and they both run off when Alex finally breaks off the wood. Daniel's wife confronts Daniel for ruining the ceremony and shoots him, to which Alex finds Daniel dying. Sadly, Alex walks in on Grace killing his mother, and now, she recoils at his touch, so he decides to join the family and grabs Grace, but before they could finish it, they realize that the sun has come up, so they have failed the ritual, and as such, they all begin to explode, dying instantaneously. Grace is able to walk out as the mansion burns to the ground. Hit that subscribe button for more recaps. A small gesture to you, most meaningful to us.